Okay, so I have to ask you questions.
Of course.
Alright, so as far as for the shingles, how like the hurricane goes from category 1 to category 5, what's the category or the rating, class rating for each shingle?
Or
So this one is rated at, if you're using starter, you're using the caps, and you're using the full system, it's gonna be 130 miles an hour.
Okay, okay.
Now, with hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, all that stuff is kind of outside of warranty. So that would fall to the insurance company. But I wouldn't say if you get a storm that comes through and it's not in on our winds, is it necessarily going to rip the roof off?
Gotcha. And how many different accessories do you have to have to?
You're going to use your starter, you're going to use your shingle, and you're going to use your caps.
Okay.
And that automatically increases our wind warranty on Landmark from 110 to 130.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's automatic. You don't have to do anything extra. Just use those three parts.
And is that in like from like a 1 to 4, like a class rating for the shingle?
Class rating 1 through 4, that's probably impact rated.
Yeah,
That's
impact
For
rating.
hail.
That's your hail.
Yes.
They don't say hail.
Oh, for
Impact rating.
They never say hail rated. It's not hail rated, impact rated. Meaning that they drop steel balls from set height, set size, diameter, whether or not does it damage the shingle, but does it tear the shingle where it leaves a hole? Does it rip the shingle? So if it hits, dents the granules, that's not a fail. If it hits, it splits the back where it's going to leak now, that's a fail. So there's a 1 through 4 rating for the insurance companies. It used to be, if it wasn't a rated of 4, then nobody cared. The insurance company didn't care if it was 1, 2, or 3, so nobody ever tested it unless it was going to go 4. But now the insurance companies kind of eased up a little bit, so they'll do 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
So the insurance company will add some coverage and give you discounts on the 3 or 4. So landmarks are 4s now.
4s?
3s and 4s.
Okay.
4s will go.
I think that's it.
As far as warranty,
I would know the
ridge caps.
Yes. I would.
So your ridge caps, if you use a shadow ridge or one of our accessory caps, all the accessories carry the exact same warranty as the shingle that's in the field. So if I put a shadow ridge on a roof that's got a 110-mile-an-hour warranty, it's got 110. If you put it on a roof that has a 130-mile-an-hour warranty, it's 130. If you take, say, the old school way of taking the 3-tab shingle and just cutting it up and making caps, they carry 60 mile an hour. So if you have a storm and the storm blows off your caps and they're all 3 tabs and it's over 60, sorry. The shingles didn't blow off, that's good. But the caps, 3 tabs are going to carry 3-tab warranty. Accessories carry whatever the field shingle is. Any other?
No.
No?
The ventilation. So with the ventilation, so we have ridge caps now,
Yes.
ridge vents.
Yes.
Now, but before it used to be like the turtle vents,
Yes.
right? So with the ridge vents, what's the main point of it? Because I heard before, like it helps with as far as for the hot air to come out, but then how do we get as far as ventilation, how do we get cool air to come in?
That's where you're under the gutter with your soffits. You have to make sure your soffits are open. So that's what we're talking about, the perforated vinyl that's underneath there, that allows air to come in, cool air to come in from underneath the soffit. Or you can do an edge vent, where you're going to cut the deck, put an edge vent in, allow air to come in, but you want it as low as possible.
Gotcha.
So you want it low for intake, and exhaust on top.
Gotcha.
Probably the biggest thing you're going to see is you have an old house that has box vents or turtle vents, as people call them. You take them off, they patch up the holes, they ship the roof, and then they go on and stick the ridge cap on. But no one cuts the deck back. No one opens up the top. So, yeah, there's a ridge vent up there, but it doesn't work because it's slot. Now with the slot, you want to be on a new construction or newer construction where they have the trusses. You want to come 3/4 of an inch down on either side side of the roof. So 3/4 of an inch of the deck at the top, you can want that open about 1.5 inches. That'll give you what they call the rating to hit that CFM using the ridge vent. It's a little short, obviously it's not gonna flow as much. Open it up, it's still not gonna flow any more than the vent's rated for. So 3/4 of an inch down on either side of the trusses. If you have an older home that has a ridge beam, with a big beam that runs from one end to the other, well, they're 2 inches or depending on how old it is, it might actually be 2 inches wide or it's 1.5 inches wide. But that beam that runs down the middle, if you have one of those, you want to cut 1.5 inches down on either side. What that does is they give you that 3/4 plus the beam in the middle. So you got that ridge beam in the middle, and you cut 3/4 on both sides like the trusses. There's no air coming out because it's right up against the beam. So 1.5 inches for ridge beam, 3/4 for trusses.
Juice.
Juice.
That's pretty much the basis. Part of that attic inspection is looking in there to make sure that your soffit is open. You should be able to see sunlight shining up. You should see light from outside. If it's, say, you want to do something and it's after it's dark or it's not so bright out, somebody got outside with a flashlight, just walk on the bottom of the gutter, shine a flashlight, you're looking, you can see the light coming through, you know you're open. Somebody comes and does the blow-in insulation, see if they're insulated, get the R value up, they flood it with that blow-in, all the way down to the bottom, and they block off all the openings. So you have to put those baffles in between each rafter, and then put the insulation. The unfortunate part is you're just the right size. They're gonna hand you a little rake, a little brush rake for cleaning out shrubs, and then you're gonna go up and you're gonna pull the insulation back, and you're gonna shove the baffle in and push the insulation back, and open them all the way up, all around. But you have to have it open to have that air come in. Because the air's not coming in, the air's not gonna go out.
As far as for like a roofing system, right? So say like we're contractors, so let's say they're usually building with other products, right? So now they're building with certainty products. What are things that could void the warranty or not make the warranty stay? So let's say they just use certainty shingles, for instance.
Right.
Would that technically not have the shingles in warranty if they didn't use any other accessory that was certainty?
So you would still have our full warranty intact for manufacturing defects.
Okay.
We'll cover that product. Now, if there's an issue due to the underlayments, or there's an issue due to something else, whatever other things could happen, you know, with somebody else's product, we gotta go talk to them. But as far as ours, with our name on it, we back them.
And is it as long as it's a certified installer from certainty?
Homeowner can put this on his own house, and he gets full warranty
Gotcha.
on our product.
Okay. That's awesome. Actually.
The only time it's required to use all of our products is if they are a credentialed contractor with certainty.
Gotcha.
You're looking for the upgrade warranty.
Yes,
For the upgraded one.
yes.
Okay.
So like we were talking about, we use our starter, use our caps to go from 110 to 130.
Mm-hmm.
If you use somebody else's caps or somebody else's starter, it stays at 110.
Okay.
But we back ours, you ours.
Cool.
And certainty's kind of different in the fact that we're the one that has what they call the aesthetic portion of the warranty. So if there's something that doesn't look like it's a press variation, color variation, or something aesthetically wrong with the shingle from manufacturing, we back them. Whereas the vast majority of the other ones are out there like it's a performance warranty. So your roof may be a little discolored, it may be darker in one spot, lighter in another, or maybe the blend's not quite right, but it won't leak, so you're good.
Gotcha.
Even though you paid for it to look a certain way in a certain color,
Right.
it's not gonna leak.
So you have an aesthetic warranty too.
We have a step.
How long is that?
Shingle.
Oh.
Like,
That's awesome. Okay.
if it's a manufacturing issue, you got it.
Okay. how about as far as for, I think I heard before with the, for the labor, you guys back labor too?
Under the Sure Start portion, which is like usually the first 5 or 10 years. Under the limited warranty, if you have a Sure Start Plus or a credentialed contractor who does the extended 3, 4, and 5-star warranties, then that coverage is extended.
Awesome.
Doing like a 5-star warranty with a credentialed contractor who uses all of our pieces and parts, you have 25 years on workmanship and everything like that. So if there's an issue with it, if it leaks in year 7 due to an installation issue, we have the workmanship recovered. It has to be through one of our high credentialed companies.
Because they're technically 5 levels. You got your standard. Then if they're going to do extended warranty, if they're credentialed, they're a 3-star installer, 4-star installer. So the 5-star, they're the ones who mainly install CertainTeed only. Those are the 2 levels that have a 10-year portion of workmanship and a 25-year portion of workmanship. It just depends on what they sold their client.
So are we
If
getting
they are
level 1
credentialed.
today? That's what we're getting? Level 1?
Oh yeah, we're standard, y'all. See everybody.
We got somewhere. We got some level 1.
Limited lifetime.
Right, right, right.
That's
That's another way, and we'll cover that in the certification class, which will be in week 7. I go into more detail on that. Like, no, this is where you are.
Basics of it is a lifetime warranty, Sure Start portion covers additional stuff, and then after Sure Start, it's prorated too.
And I don't know if I'm being stickler, so let me know. As far as for, you said Florida, it's required for 6 nails, right?
Correct.
Because it's basically harder, because it's so much more weight.
Yes.
Okay, so in Georgia, do you know what they do?
Georgia, I believe, is still 4 nails. I think if you go out towards the coast, then there might be some municipalities that are going to say they want what they call storm nailing or high wind rated nailing. And that's 6.
Gotcha.
You'll even find that in some places like out in the mountains. If you get into some of the valleys, in some of the ridges and stuff, where the wind gets funneled in, it's real heavy at times. Some of those areas may actually require 6 nails instead of 14. But like I said, that is where it is your responsibility to know where you're working and what the requirements and codes are for that area.
So the codes, are they separated by county, city?
Well, so the book that you guys are doing, the class that you're doing, through the whole thing again, credentialed is going to be on the national building code, which is your standard basic bare minimum. This is just the minimum requirements under the national building code, which covers everything. You go to Florida, they want 6 nails. You go to Miami, they want you to re-nail the entire deck. Have the deck inspected that it's re-nailed. Then they'll let you dry it in. Then they'll inspect it again after drying. Then they'll give you the okay to go ahead and put shingles on. Then they're going to inspect that. Then they're going to come out and they're going to do a final inspection and sign off on it. Without that sign off, you don't get paid.
Wow.
So where you're at dictates a lot. Now you can walk into some of the places like Virginia and Kentucky. There is no permits, there is no inspections. You can build whatever you want.
Whenever
You
you
can
want.
take 4 million pallets and build a whole house out of it. They don't care. But you have to look where you're at. Because different areas are very different. Like, go up to like Vermont, Maine. We talked about the ice and water shoot, the peel and stick. We said 3 foot, a single layer just around the perimeter. They want 9 feet. They want 3 layers because of all the ice dams and the snow buildup and all that stuff. They want 9 feet of water, not 4. So it really just depends where you're at.
Something like a little more local. In the city of Atlanta, you have to have cool roofs. And that's really like in California. And they just made that law, and they just passed it this summer. But then the surrounding areas, Mableton, Cobb County, regular.
What's that, title 24, is it? It's title 24.
Yeah. I didn't know Atlanta did that.
They just did it in June.
Wow.
Yep. So now you're required to have cool roofs because they're trying to lower, the temperature, so they're trying to fight that. But the surrounding areas are not there yet. Yeah.
It's around a long time.
Yeah. So what the thing is though, since it's brand new, It's they're just starting to like get it enforced and things like that, but the manufacturers right now usually have it in the main areas where they know they need it, like California. So a lot of times they don't even have it in this area yet because they don't know about the demand yet. So they just made that law, so now they're gonna start, eventually.
Yes, it's a big thing to check where what you have to have where. I was doing a roof with a guy in Florida. I was down there helping out his crews get started. Inspector came around and made them all stop because they didn't have a piece of paper printed off that it was Florida approved. Oh wow! In the job envelope that's hung on the door. It's printed on the box. It's printed on the wrappers. I showed him on the iPad. It's on the website. It says this product is Florida approved. Here's the Florida approval number. I showed him everything. He said, unless it's printed off on a piece of paper and stuck in the envelope, you can't start. So he had to run down, the guy from that was running the job had to run down to Staples, put his phone, print it off,
Yep.
bring it back, and put it in the envelope before we can start working.
That's crazy.
So you gotta double check all your stuff. Make sure you cover everything. If you're going into an area that you've not done work in, go into the permit office and say, what exactly are your requirements for the roof? And it may vary. Well, if it was built before 1960, it's grandfathered in. If it was built in, before 1980, it's got this requirement. Because some of those things may far exceed the cost to bring everything up to the current code. So they may not require you, they may allow you to do some things that they won't allow you to do on a house that was maybe 10, 15 years old.
What type of exemptions are those called? Are they called something special?
No, it's just the local code. They just kind of make their own determinations.
Okay.
To be honest with you, they can do whatever they want.
Case by case basis? Okay.
They can literally say, hey, like a dad says, everything in this certain area has to be this. Or they can easily go down there and say, hey, if you're roofing in this neighborhood, these are the two colors you're allowed to use. Because historically it has to match. You can't come in there with a blue shingle or a green shingle or a red shingle. No.
Black or red with.
Yeah, so there's your standard building codes, then there's your local codes, then there's preservation codes, there's Energy Star or energy efficiency codes, solar reflective codes. Best bet, like I said, if you're in an area that you don't roof in, you go down there and say, give it to me, so that you have it, study it, know what you're doing, so that you're prepared to do it, and because the inspectors will come out. If they find something you didn't do,
Shutting you down. They're messing with you.
well, the worst part is that, they shut you down, that's bad. When they shut you down and they tell you to strip the whole thing off and throw it into the trash and start all over, that's really bad. Now you just lost all production, you're paying to rip it all off again, you're throwing all your stuff in the trash, now you gotta go buy all new stuff, and start all over.
Okay, horror stories about Florida.
It can get painful. Especially if you get into some of these bigger jobs that have, like, Grand Manors or Presidentials or some of the really expensive high-end shingles, tearing them off and throwing them in the trash at 3-4 times the cost of a regular landmark. Nobody wants to see $40,000 worth of material get thrown in the trash and go reorder it and do it again. So yeah, you just really want to check with your code enforcement and see exactly what is required and followed. Now, don't argue because you never win. He's got the pen. When you don't sign it off, you don't get it. They can get kind of quirky too. I mean, I've seen jobs wrapped up. They're doing the final cleanup, 10 a.m. They're done. They have an inspector coming out at 2 o'clock to go look at the roof and do the final sign off. The dumpster guy doesn't show up. He's running late. Accident, truck broke down. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever happens, he doesn't pick the dumpster up. I'll just come back in the morning and get it. He comes around, he sees the dumpster in the yard, in the driveway. If the dumpster's not gone, the job is not complete. Will not sign off. So until the dumpster's gone, even though the roof's done, the dumpster's not gone, the job's not done. You won't sign off. Then you're gonna get a fail. Then you gotta call the office. You're gonna pay them another $100, $200 for a re-inspection fee. And he's gonna take a week, 2 weeks to come back up to do it again. In the meantime, you ain't getting your check from home. We'll sign off. So, no play. Gonna play nice.
So with the roofing system, right? That we're certainty certified, right? If a regular roofer was to build a product, right? Let's say like a regular, the person in front of Home Depot, like that stays on license. What are the top ways that roofers cut corners when they're building a roofing system that obviously not?
You'll have some that are just like, they'll use the cheapest underwood, the cheapest starter, the cheapest, and they may mix and match from manufacturers just to get the cheapest stuff, and then put it together and say, yeah. So at the end of the day, most roofers, labor cost is labor cost. I mean, there are some guys that are more expensive than others. But if they're cutting the price, they're usually cutting the product, not cutting their pocket. They say, oh, you need to take $1,000 off that roof job and it's yours. Well, it's not going to come out of $1,000 in profit. It's going to come out of $1,000. Well, all right, well, you get the cheaper underlayment, you get the cheaper starters, you get the cheaper. There you go. Get what you pay for is really what it comes down to. Like everything else, good, better, best. You got good, then you got your better, and then you got your best. Prices usually vary in those three categories. Most people don't want the cheapest because it is their house. We usually kind of go middle ground. Some people are just, I want the best. I'm 50 years old. I'm putting this on my last roof. I ain't never doing it again. I'm retiring in this house. I ain't doing it no more. I'm still working. Man, give me the best. Give me the top warranty. Give me the best products. And I don't ever want to touch it again for 25 years. Hopefully, ain't my problem. That's my kid's problem. So you gotta look at it in that aspect of, I mean, we've all, you go out and buy a refrigerator, washer, dryer, TV or something like that, you look at, good, better, best, and you're like, yeah, I don't want that one, because that was pretty good. That one's real nice. Best. I just take the middle.
Yep.
Everybody kind of gravitates towards the middle. It's exactly why when we walk into the car dealerships, all the platinums and the limiteds and all those are sitting in the showroom. They want you to see it. Because you just walked in, I said, I want the XLT, and that's it. And then ooh, well, that's kind of nice. What's in there? And all of a sudden, now you start to think, well, maybe I could. Is it worth it? And then, it's the upside. So you just kind of got to look at it in that. Roofing's no different. You go with Landmark. Landmark Pro is your better. And then they may hit like Belmont or something like that as the best in that range. Now you go up to Asheville, they're starting off as good as pro. Belmont stuff maybe in the middle is better, and then best they're going to be up there in the Grand Matters and Presidentials because that area dictates it. So kind of got to go with the market you're in.
And that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I guess maybe that was a